Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another match reaction video. First things first, guys, make sure you smash the like, subscribe if you're new around here, and as always, leave your thoughts in the comments below. And on Thursday night, it finished Chelsea 2, Servette 0 in the first leg of the Europa Conference League playoff, the first ever Conference League game in Chelsea's history. What a spectacle. No, truth be told, it was absolutely awful. Not a good occasion, not a great spectacle. Flat performance, but ultimately these cup games are about getting the job done. Yes, I expected a better performance. Yes, I didn't think we'd struggle as much against this level of opposition. We made very hard work of it, but ultimately these cup games are about winning and they're about getting through. And we've put ourselves in a commanding position ahead of that second leg. Look, Servette, 8 or 9 games into their season. This is just our second game of the season. A lot of players getting their first starts, a lot of players getting their first minutes of the season. And that's not an excuse. But those things do make a little bit of a difference. It must be said, a heavily rotated side as expected, still loads of quality on the pitch, still more than enough to get the job done. And let's have a look at that lineup, because I think people are expecting a lot more. We still had loads of changes, but I think people are expecting a bit more rotation, perhaps. But we had Moises Caicedo captaining the side, Philip Jorgensen first start, the Sassy first start, Tosin, Badiashile, Veiga first start as well. Same for Dewsbury Hall. Neto obviously getting his first start, Madueke as well, and Guiu. So many players starting their first game of the season, so many players getting their first minutes of the season. But it was very much kind of like a 4-1-4-1, or you could say it was a 4-3-3, and Kunku and Dewsbury Hall as those attacking eights. And look, it was a decent enough lineup. You can't have any complaints about that. More than enough quality to be beating a side of Servette's stature, which, with the greatest of respect, isn't that high. But yeah, look, after starting the game reasonably well, opening few minutes, we moved the ball quickly, we created a few opportunities. Things went flat very, very quickly. Very quickly. It was passive. It was slow. We stopped moving the ball quickly. We stopped creating chances. We were inviting pressure onto ourselves. Servette grew into the game. They had a few opportunities. And if they had better quality, if they were a better outfit, then we could have easily found ourselves in trouble, and we could have easily found ourselves behind in this sort of a game. There were very few positives from the first half. Mudryk really wasn't that great. Some good moments, some awful moments. Touch let him down, giving the ball away, poor decision making. Neto looked sharp-ish, a couple of nice direct runs, couple of take-ons. But other than that, we kind of are scraping the barrel a little bit. Guiu, obviously, as we know, he works hard. But other than that, there wasn't much to write home about. And Kunku seemed very isolated in his role. He had very, very little impact on the game in that first half. And yeah, at second half time, he could have easily made 3-4 changes and it wouldn't have been a surprise whatsoever. But Maresca stuck with the same team, and there was an improvement in that second half. There was an improvement. Admittedly, hard not to improve on that first half. We could have scored more goals. We should have scored more goals. We had opportunities. Guiu should have scored. We all know that. But the kid's trying hard. He's getting in the positions, and yeah, he'll be more disappointed than anyone at missing that easy opportunity that he had in the second half. We still don't look great at set pieces, which is a little bit of a concern in my book. We're still making individual errors as well. Luckily, they weren't punished, but we've seen them punished against City, and we'll probably see them punished again in more games this season. Those need to be cut out massively. In terms of positives from the game, I'll probably say, look, Madueke, a positive off the bench, great finish, scoring a goal, making an impact. Unlucky not to score, not to play, more minutes in these first 2 games. He's shown that he's a really important player for this side and in the squad. Jorgensen was a massive positive in my view. Made some good saves. The big thing for me with Jorgensen is I don't feel nervous when he's on the ball. I wasn't even thinking about the goalkeeper at all last night in the stadium. With Sanchez, every time he's on the ball, you're worried, you're nervous. With Jorgensen, I didn't get any sense of that at all. Distribution was better. Looks a good keeper. Obviously, it's going to be far tougher tests than that, but he should absolutely be staying between the sticks against Wolves. But I think we know that's probably not going to happen. Caicedo obviously was a positive as well, and also surprisingly Renato Veiga. I thought he played really well in that inverted left back role. He looks a good player. Yes, there's still a lot to learn, but he gives it his all. He looks tidy on the ball, defends well. I think there's a player in there, and that was a really positive night for him, and something that hopefully he can build on. Absolutely, hopefully he can build on. Madueke improved in that second half, but yeah, you still don't really understand sort of what he is in terms of, some bits are really, really good, and then some bits are absolutely shit. He played the full 90, great for his good for his confidence. Build that up. Maresca saying after the game, it's not a quality issue of Mudryk, and I fully agree with him. It's a decision making issue. It's when he should pass, he tries to take the man on. When he should try and take the man on, he looks to pass. He needs to get better at his decision making. The quality's there. It's his decision making and kind of footballing brain, which isn't quite there yet. But let's hope that can improve under Maresca, because there absolutely is a player there. There's talent there. There's ability there. But it's got to happen sooner rather than later with Mudryk. It simply has to. But look, ultimately, guys, the cup competitions, they're there to be won. And, a 2-0 lead, whilst kind of can be a dangerous scoreline, if you go one down in the second leg, it kind of invites a bit of pressure on. That's a decent enough, lead to take to Geneva next week. I think we would have all taken that before the start of the game. Look, important for Maresca to get his first win. Really important to record a clean sheet with a sort of a makeshift back four in terms of personnel, and Disasi sort of playing at right back out of position. That was really important. We haven't kept many clean sheets. And yeah, we were rarely troubled, really. There was maybe a 10-minute spell in the second half where Servette definitely came more into the game. They hit the bar. They forced Jorgensen into a good save, where we looked a little bit tired for sort of a 10, 15-minute spell. But ultimately, I think, yes, there are concerns. Of course there are. But it's about winning, and that's what we did. But in terms of kind of the fans, the support, a lot's been made of that, following the City game. I really strongly disagree with the moans and groans 2 games in about playing out from the back. Fans need to educate themselves. Fans need to understand that Maresca's been bought in to play this way. This is how we are going to play. We're going to build up from the back, and we're going to be patient with it. We're looking to control games, and we've gone from a basketball style of football under Mauricio Pochettino last season, and now we're going to a more possession-based style of football where we're looking to have more control of the game, and we're going to be building up from the back. That's how we're going to play. Now, fans moaning and groaning about this 2 games into the season doesn't help anyone at all. You're supposed to be the 12th man. You're supposed to be that extra bit of support to drive the team on, to give them that motivation, to up their levels. And yet we're finding ourselves moaning and groaning 2 games in. I understand that fans have a right to express their opinion. They pay their money, but their second game of the season under a new manager with a lot of new players is not the place for it, nor is it being directed at the right people. Why are you directing your frustrations at the players and at the manager when the frustrations are clearly at the ownership and the way that the club's being run? Why are you taking it out on the players? Why are you taking it out on the manager who's been here 2 minutes? We're trying to create a good atmosphere for these guys to play in. And quite frankly, Stamford Bridge is not really a great place to play. Why would these guys want to play here when it's moaning and groaning, when they're being told, when they're playing how they're being told to play? So, there's a time and a place for criticism, and you've got to direct it at the right people. But 2 games in under a new manager absolutely is not it. And I don't have any idea why people are doing that, and what they're expecting from it. What are you expecting that to do? Is that meant to be helpful? Like, seriously, what are we doing here? What on earth are we doing? I really, really don't understand it. I really don't get it at all. But people have got their views, people have got their opinions, but I think too many fans are stuck in the past. Too many fans think you can play 2004, 2005 football in 2024. That's not the case. There's more of a conversation to be had about it. If you're passing it around the back and you're losing a game, you just want to get the ball forward and there's not much time left. I get that, but this is how they're going to play. People need to be understanding that this is what's going to happen. This is how we're playing. So get behind the team, support the team, or quite frankly, give your ticket to someone else. And that might seem a little bit harsh, but if you're not going to support the team when you're in the stadium, then why are you there? Why are you going there to create a negative atmosphere, to put negative pressure on the team? I don't understand it personally. I really don't get it. But that's just my view on it. You know, people might disagree with me in the comments. That's absolutely fine. You know, I'm more than happy to hear other people's opinions, and you know, and have a healthy debate with people. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. But you know, positives, as I said, Caicedo, Jorgensen, Veiga. Great seeing Kunku get off the mark for the season. Yeah, it was a penalty, but so what? You know, the blue balloon was out at Stamford Bridge for the first time. That was great to see. But yeah, there wasn't. We didn't really learn very much from this at all, other than there's still a lot of work to do. I'm surprised Jackson didn't come off the bench. He went with Cole Palmer as a false nine. Would have thought Jackson might have got a few minutes, but yeah, this is kind of where we're at, guys. I've not seen anything in these first two games that has surprised me or that I've not expected to see with a new system, with a new manager and a new way of playing. I don't think anyone should be surprised by what we've seen so far. Yeah, of course, we all expected a better performance. Yeah, of course, we all expected a more comfortable night against an opposition of this standard. But ultimately, we've got the first win. We're in a strong position in the tie. And what more could you really want, to be honest, other than maybe a few more goals? But that's kind of just being nitpicking and maybe a little bit selfish in one way or another. But look, we move forward. We go to Wolves. That's going to be a massive test. We don't have a good record there. We've lost our last two games there. Yes, we've got Pedro Neto amongst our ranks now, but that's going to be a really, really tough game. But this was a mare night. You know, nothing particularly good. But we got the job done, and that's what it's about, guys. So people need to realize that cup competitions are for winning, and that this is going to take time, and we're going to need a little bit of patience, something which Chelsea fans seemingly don't have, as demonstrated by moans and groans and boos in the first two games. It's going to be a long season if we're going to be doing this after two games. So let's get behind the team. Let's support the lads. Let's make it a positive place to play. Let's give them encouragement. And let's try and make a difference rather than constantly being down on everything. You know, there is a lot to be negative about. Of course, there is ownership wise. You know, I understand that, but let's get behind the boys. Let's do it. Come on, people. Let's just do that. That's my message to the Chelsea fans. But guys, that's my thoughts on the game, the fans, the atmosphere, and whatnot. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. We go again Sunday against Wolves, commanding position for that second leg as well next week. But yes, make sure you smash the likes, make sure you subscribe. I'll catch you again in another one soon. Up the Chelsea, and peace out.